I've been studying engineering for over 48 years now. And of course, when I was starting, the main mode of learning involved reading a textbook, going to lectures, working problems, that kind of thing. And what I've noticed over the years is just like you probably, I really enjoy watching videos and using YouTube, things like YouTube, to help me learn concepts. And I think that's a very useful thing. And the problem that I see with it, though, is that often YouTube videos are sort of disconnected topics, and there's not a general theme that kind of organizes things into a coherent set of topics that make you have a path for learning the material in a course. So along the way, back in fall of 2024, one of the Claude models dropped that was really good at making infographics. And so that sparked the idea for me to make an Infobook. And the whole concept is to go through this learning cycle where you can watch videos. And then this is an important step, read about it, because I think that's an important mode of learning. I know that I've talked to students that say, I don't really like to read. I get it. That's not something you have to like to do, but it does help you see it in a different format that I think helps you learn it, and you're able to access that information in a different way than if you just watch videos. Okay, the other thing about reading is that sometimes when you go through these learning cycles, you don't want to watch a whole video, okay? You want to go back and just get the relevant points, and so that's what happens in this info book. If you're kind of fuzzy on a topic and you've already watched the video, you can then just jump through and read about it. And see, the other thing in this triangle that I've developed for this info book is there are some interactive graphics. Sometimes the graphics aren't interactive, but many times you can play around with it, click through examples, take a look at what happens with some of the operations and concepts that are illustrated in this info book. So this is the technology part. This is the thing that I've worked on for this info book that we're using for the course. But then there's still this outer loop, the old-fashioned way, where you have a concept, you want to be able to illustrate that concept by sketching out circuits, explaining what they do, say on a whiteboard. I think whiteboards are great for learning. It could be a piece of paper. That's why I gave you a template for you can draw things, draw circuits, draw diagrams, go through Boolean equations on either a whiteboard or a piece of paper. Talk to your classmates. It's good to have study groups. Practice solving problems, design new circuits. Recall everything from memory. You internalize all this, and you don't need the technology. I want you to use the technology to help you learn, but then move away from things like AI and interactive graphics and those kind of things, and make sure you and a piece of paper or you and a whiteboard understand how the concepts work. So that's how you get to mastery. And then you throw in a new topic, go through this same process again, and what happens is you will start naturally making connections about how the world works in terms of digital logic circuits. And then I think this is a great path to have for learning just in general. Okay, so that's the philosophy of this book. I wanted you to know that in advance. The other thing about it is I think it's really helpful to learn things over time. It's hard to just cram things right before an exam. You can do that, and the danger in this course is the topic is not that difficult where you can actually get away with that, all right? And then the problem is you don't remember it when you get further down the road in your engineering career. So I want you to go through this. I'm going to have reading assignments and infographic assignments that support every lecture. And we'll go through this loop, and hopefully it'll help you learn about digital logic.